Welcome to OSU Turf Podcasts. My name is Carl Danneberger, Professor of Turfgrass Science at The Ohio State University. This turf podcast provides a brief overview of Cynodon, a commonly used turfgrass species. Cynodon, or as it is commonly referred to as Bermudagrass in the United States, is adapted to the subtropical and tropical climates of the world. Within its adaptive range, Bermudagrass is commonly used on golf course greens, tees, fairways, and roughs. This photograph depicts Bermudagrass used from tee to green. Bermudagrass, like most warm-season turf grasses, prefer higher temperatures for optimum growth. This table summarizes the optimum shoot and root temperatures for Bermudagrass compared to creeping bentgrass. Bermudagrass is a low-growing, aggressive turf grass that spreads through rhizomes and stolons. Bermudagrass stolons, shown here, have spread rapidly across the soil surface. Stolons are important in establishment and turf recovery, because along the stolon, nodes give rise to new plants. Various types of Bermudagrass are used in golf course situations. The first is Cynodon, or common Bermudagrass, that is primarily used in lower maintenance situations. Common Bermudagrass produces a more open and coarser leaf textured turf. Breeding efforts have produced a finer quality plant with some of these new commons. Some of the newer improved cultivars are listed here. Although the traditional common variety is used in low maintenance situations, in some situations common is used in fairways. For example, wintergreen produces a high-quality fairway turf here in Australia. As a side note, Bermudagrass is commonly known in Australia as couchgrass. Hybrid Bermudagrasses result from crosses between Cynodon and Cynodon transvalensis. Bermudagrass hybrids are commonly used on golf courses and athletic fields. Tifway, sometimes referred to as 419, Tiff Green, also called 328, are examples of hybrids, as is Santa Ana, a commonly used hybrid in Australia. The hybrids are sterile and thus require vegetative establishment. The hybrids have greater density and finer texture when compared to a common. This photograph provides a comparison between a hybrid variety on the left and a common on the right. Tifway is widely used on golf course fairways like this one in Las Vegas, Nevada, or in this case on a golf course fairway in North Carolina. Santa Ana is widely used in Australia on golf course fairways because of its excellent winter color retention and its relatively high tolerance to salt conditions. Tiff Green was bred for golf greens. It is not as widely used now because the newer hybrids tolerate lower mowing heights. Tiff Green served as a clonal source for the selection of Tiff Dwarf, which is a widely used hybrid on putting greens. In addition, it has served as a primary source for other cultivar selection through induced mutation like irradiation. Tiff Dwarf, in turn, has served as a source for new clonal or vegetative selections termed ultra dwarfs. The ultra dwarfs are high shoot density hybrids that tolerate low mowing heights. The ultra dwarfs have grown in popularity since the mid-1990s, but are losing some of their popularity because of problems associated with them, and to some extent the difficulty or intensity of management required to maintain a high-quality ultra dwarf green. This putting green was established to Tiff Dwarf. The patches or areas of the green that appear a lighter green are termed off types or mutants. These off types serve as selection for the ultra dwarfs in many cases. This is another example of mutants or off types of Tiff Dwarf. The ultra dwarfs were selected for their high shoot density compared to Tiff Dwarf, which is shown here. Bermudagrass adaptive range is limited by suboptimal temperatures. Low temperatures can potentially cause injury to Bermudagrass. One suboptimal temperature stress is chilling. Chilling injury occurs on warm season turf grasses when temperatures fall below 54 degrees Fahrenheit or 12 degrees centigrade, but remain above freezing. Injury or off-coloring will occur when cool temperatures are combined with sunny days. In this case, this fairway is turning purple due to chilling. In this case, chilling injury occurred to an ultra-dwarf green in South Florida. The off color of the green is apparent to the left of the person. To the right of this gentleman, the green has been painted green to cover the off coloring that has occurred. Ultra-dwarfs are the least cold-tolerant varieties of Bermuda grass. With extended cool temperatures, Bermuda grass will often go dormant, turning a brown to whitish color. Dormancy occurs as a mechanism of plant protection against cold temperatures for Bermuda grass. Bermuda grass, in some cases, is overseeded in the fall with a cool season turf grass like perennial ryegrass to provide winter color, as shown here on this tee that's been overseeded and the fairway that's been overseeded. Greens can also be overseeded with cool season turf grasses like perennial ryegrass, Poa trivialis, and or creeping bentgrass. If temperatures drop too low or Bermuda grass has grown out of its range of adaptation, the potential for winter injury increases. This photograph shows winter kill to a Bermuda grass fairway in the transition zone of the United States. Injury symptoms can persist well into the summer and may require reestablishment. Environmentally, Bermuda grass is sensitive to low light conditions. As an example of low light sensitivity, the yellow streaks of this Bermuda grass fairway are due to the shading effect of windrowing of clippings after mowing. Low light or shaded conditions can result in rapid decline in Bermuda grass, even under optimum temperatures. This photograph shows a rapid decline of Bermuda grass in shade. The square green patch toward the center of the photograph was a recently laid patch of Bermuda grass and provides a stark contrast to the declining Bermuda grass in the rough. In this case, tree shading effect on this Bermuda grass green is quite obvious within the cleanup pattern of the mower. Bermuda grass is sensitive to wear injury under low light conditions. In general, the ultra-dwarfs are sensitive to low light conditions. However, differences in varieties is apparent. Under shaded conditions, the growth habit of Bermuda grass changes, producing a less dense turf with a more open canopy. The Bermuda grass growing in this fairway is more open and less dense to shade. Algae will colonize Bermuda grass under low light conditions. In this close-up of Bermuda grass, the black color of algae is apparent. Algae may appear as a greenish to greenish-black color. From a moisture stress perspective, Bermuda grass has an excellent drought tolerance and good tolerance to poor or salt-affected sites. While the common types of Bermuda grass are established by seed, the sterile hybrids are established vegetatively. Sprigging is a popular method of establishing Bermuda grass vegetatively. Sprigs are sliced into the turf, and from these sprigs, which are harvested stems, new shoots, plants develop. In the following section, we will look at in a broad sense at Bermuda grass management as it relates to mowing heights, fertilization, and thatch organic matter control. Mowing heights vary depending on the Bermuda grass variety and situation. On putting greens, the ultra-dwarfs can maintain at the lowest heights of cut, where the older tiff green does not perform well below 5 millimeters or a quarter inch. On fairways, Bermuda grass can be maintained below an inch. Hybrid Bermuda grass is the most popular variety used on tees and are maintained between a half and 3/4 inch. Bermuda grass fertilization can vary on the soil type and length of growing season and variety used. An overview we will only look at in general nitrogen fertilization rates. Hybrid Bermuda grasses, depending on the root zone mix and the environmental conditions, are fertilized within a range of 1/2 to 1 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet per growing month. Half of the nitrogen would be applied as a quick release or soluble form every 7 to 14 days, while the slow release half could be applied every 2 to 4 weeks. Ultradwarf should be fertilized with rates at the low end of this range. Fairway nitrogen rates for the hybrid Bermuda grass is similar to greens, but applied less frequently. Common Bermuda grass rates are roughly half that of the hybrids. Bermuda grass can produce considerable amount of thatch or organic matter that has to be managed, or scalping can occur to the turf. Organic matter accumulation occurs rapidly within the Bermuda grass hybrids. These plugs were taken from a newly established tiff dwarf and an ultra-dwarf green, reflecting the considerable amount of organic matter accumulation at the root zone surface, which the arrows are pointing to. Top dressing is a common practice on Bermuda grass for controlling organic matter, as is verticutting and coring. Pests of Bermuda grass varies. There are several weeds associated with Bermuda grass, including annual grassy weeds, sedges, and poannual, which is shown here as the light green patches on this practice putting green. A few diseases of Bermuda grass include Bermuda grass decline, shown here, Pythium blight, shown here, dollar spot, curvularia, which is primarily a problem on the ultra-dwarfs. As insect pests go, insect pests include grubs, weevils, in this case the billbug grub, and mole crickets. Some of these pests are described in further detail in subsequent podcasts. This concludes this brief overview of Bermuda grass, a widely used warm season turf grass.